Question. On that note, guys, let's work and get right into it. So one thing we know for sure is that Foxborough is the closest thing to Fort Knox in terms of NFL franchises. That's why it was extremely perplexing that around 4 a.m. this morning, a post came from Jimmy G's Instagram account with this picture and the caption saying, "So grateful for my time in New England. Peace out, Boston." Now, initially, what sources were telling our Mike Reese is that the post was a prank. And since this post, his Super Bowl winning teammates, LeGarrette Blount, Martellus Bennett, and James White all liked it. Now, Jalen Rose was on Mike and Mike this morning and wasn't buying that it's a hoax. Take a listen.
LeGarrette Blount and James White, teammates, probably former teammates of his at this point, they have his phone number. And they know the Patriot way. They just won a Super Bowl together. So they understand that if this was something that should not be out there, they would not be continuing to perpetuate it. They would text them. They would call them. They would make sure that this is valid, it's legit, before they actually liked it. Liking means support, correct? That's what they did.
Nice sweater, Jalen. The post has since been deleted. Stephen A., I want to start with you. What's your reaction to the latest?
Well, first of all, I agree with Jalen. I think that something was going on, at least in the mind of Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, I'm not here to sit there and counter anything that the great Adam Schefter is reporting. Please don't get me wrong. But what I will say is that I think it's indicative of what Garoppolo actually wants to happen. I don't believe it was a hoax. I think he had everything to do with that post. I don't care what anybody says. I think the fact that, his teammates liked it ultimately speaks to the fact that they know what's in his mind and in his heart, if nothing else. And I think it's indicative of something along those lines. Garoppolo is feeling himself a little bit. He knows that at no time will the market be as high as it appears to be for him right now. He senses a prime opportunity for himself to land someplace else, be a starting quarterback in the NFL, and get some shine, and I think he wants to capitalize on it. Now, Adam Schefter may be absolutely right in what the New England Patriots' intent is, meaning they intend to hold on to him and not let him go, but that doesn't mean that's not what that's what Garoppolo wants them to do. He may very well want to be out. He may very well want to move on, get paid, and get an opportunity to capitalize on his own shine for some other NFL squad as a starting quarterback. I think the Instagram post may not very well speak towards what's actually transpiring, but I do think it potentially speaks towards what he wants to happen, and that is that he wants to leave New England, and he's willing to depart ways with absolutely no resistance whatsoever. That's what I'm thinking.
This is not an easy one because Jalen's logic makes a lot of sense, as does yours, Stephen A., in this case. First of all, teammates liking it. Secondly, the post staying up for a while. Thirdly, when the Patriots said no comment, essentially. Didn't deny it, they just wouldn't comment on it. And all that leads you to believe something's going on. Let me tell you why I think ultimately it's not, I don't know if you call it a hoax, but ultimately it's not real. Number one, the cult of Belichick is such that this is not the way players on the New England Patriots behave. They don't do this kind of stuff. It's not the Patriots way, right? And number two, and maybe this is number one, we have some of the best reporters in media, period, covering this. You're talking about, you brought up Adam Schefter, Chris Mortensen, Ed Werder. These guys don't miss much, if anything. And there are no secrets in the NFL anyway. And none of this has been reported. So for this to be kept a secret, if there's something real going on here, for this to be kept a secret from everyone in a league where that doesn't exist, and not having heard this from anyone or having this be reported by anyone, leads me to believe that when you weigh the evidence, in fact, it's not real. Maybe it's what Garoppolo wants. He wants to start. Okay, I understand that. Get a fat new contract, make millions of dollars. Who wouldn't want that? But is it real? If you ask me, based on what's in front of us, I would say no, not at this moment.
Well, I mean, listen, based on what is in front of us, we're just asking what we think is going on. I mean, nobody knows for sure but the New England Patriots. We get all of that. All I'm saying is this. When you look at Garoppolo, it does speak to his wishes as far as I'm concerned. Think about what he said. Think about the words. You know, he was sitting there, sayonara, see y'all, it was nice. You know, it was just that kind of nonchalant attitude. That speaks to a man that actually wants to leave town. And if you want to leave town, even though you've been a member of the Patriots as their backup quarterback, quarterbacking 2 games for them last year, it doesn't speak to you wanting to be a Patriot now. You're looking to move on because it also speaks to Tom Brady. Tom Brady has put everybody on notice, including his supermodel, lovely wife, Giselle. He said, I ain't going nowhere. I want to be here. I want to be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. I want to play for years to come. I'm having too much fun. I love what I'm doing, and I don't want it to change. This is what Tom Brady has said. If you're the guy backing him up, recognizing his greatness, you ain't looking at that dust on his birth certificate. You're looking at a man that's defying Father Time. And you're asking yourself, how much time and how many opportunities am I going to have? Not to mention when you see the Kirk Cousins and others of the world at the quarterback position, you know, in position to extract the multitude of dollars that they're in position to extract from these NFL franchises. You're Garoppolo, you're saying, wait a minute, Brock Osweiler, $37 million guaranteed, Mike Glennon, $19 million guaranteed, and I'm sitting here and I'm supposed to be proud of having a ring as being Tom Brady's backup when chances are I'm never going to get an opportunity to play because there's no Deflategate suspension on the horizon. What the hell am I thinking?
Never.
Let me get the hell up out of here. That's what he's doing.
Never get an opportunity to play. Tom Brady's 136 years old. I mean, like, look, you talk about defying Father Time, and he's doing it so far, as others has before him. Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers famously sat behind him and became maybe the best we've ever seen. Not to say Garoppolo is Aaron Rodgers, but Rodgers benefited by holding the clipboard for Favre for several seasons, maybe 1 or 2 seasons longer than he should have in terms of making his money and being able to start and succeed at that moment. But in the long run, maybe it was the best thing, not only for Favre, but also for Rodgers and the franchise. There's precedent there. But if you say defying Father Time, okay, let me tell you the curfew Father Time puts on NFL quarterbacks, great ones. 41 years old. No one's ever stayed out past 41. Warren Moon by about 5 minutes, and then that was it. You think you're going to break curfew and stay up all night till you're 43, 44, 45? That would break the record by so much it would be ridiculous to even talk about. So Brady may want to play forever, and his play is still excellent, as we saw, phenomenal in the second half of the Super Bowl. But just to assume that he's going to do it is, I think, foolhardy, and I don't think the Patriots are foolhardy. I don't think Belichick feels that way. Belichick is going to cover his...
Yeah, we hear you. He's going to fall off a cliff. The bottom line is this. Garoppolo can't think like that. Garoppolo has to think about now. And see, this is where you lie to the American public, and nobody calls you on it but me, Max Kellerman.
Never lie to the American public.
Yes, you do. You lie all the time because you don't acknowledge the capitalist that you are. Very few people are as about their money as you are. Garoppolo is supposed to wait a year, year and a half, 2 years. Oh, my money's going to be there at that particular time. They're going to remember what I did.
Why wouldn't it?
They're going to remember what I did over 2 games in 2016. By the time 2018 rolls around, stop it. He's got to capitalize on it now.
Let me ask you, you've seen evidence that a guy can ball, and now he's going to learn under Brady and Belichick. Let's say it is another 2 years. For 2 more years, you think he's going to get worse in that time?
No, it's not that I think he's going to get worse. What I'm saying is you're not going to have the elevated level of trust in him a year or 2 from now than you would have right now. He's the hot ticket right now. He may not be the hot ticket in a year or 2 years. That's what I'm saying. How is that difficult for you to comprehend? Listen, you're a highly intelligent man, Mr. Ivy Leaguer. How the hell can you not comprehend that he may not be the golden boy 2 years from now that he is now?
Because the only way his value goes down is if he does see action in real games, meaning Brady got hurt and he's terrible. That's how his value goes down. But it doesn't look like he is terrible. He knows the Patriot system very well.
Yeah. So I got a question. your value
Go
doesn't
ahead.
go down based off of rust and inactivity? That doesn't happen?
No. No.
What?
Rust and inactivity? Why is it
Yes.
rust and inactivity? He's still getting his
Yes.
reps in.
What are you going to tell me next? Vince Young should come back? That's what you're going to tell me next?
Hey, that college sophomore at Harvard has a really promising future. You think by the time that kid's a senior, people don't think he's there even more or she's even
Not
more
if he
ready
hasn't
for the
played
world?
in 2
More ready
years.
than